This is a quick recap of fourth quarter results of Coforge Ltd. The company has been able to achieve its FY23 revenue guidance, which was revised upwards in Q3. The management kept their earnings call very simple, straight and clear. There were no ambiguous statements and it ended with an assurance that the guidance for FY24 will be met, with of course the usual caveats. Coming to their Q4 performance, company registered a sequential revenue growth of 4.7% in constant currency terms. In dollar and rupee terms, the growth was 5% and 5.6%, respectively. In management's words, growth in Q4 has not just been robust, it has equally been broad-based across verticals, across service lines, across regions and across client size-based cohorts. The BFS vertical grew 4.5% Q-on-Q in constant currency terms, the insurance vertical 5%, the travel vertical 2.4% and the other verticals together grew 6.4% Q-on-Q in constant currency terms. The top 5 clients and top 10 clients grew 23.9% and 26.6% Y-on-Y respectively and contributed 23% and 35.5% respectively to overall Q4 revenue. The quarter saw two one-off expenses. The first on account of expenses linked to the $1 billion milestone celebrations, primarily the gift of an Apple iPad to each one of 21,000 plus employees to mark this occasion. The second is on account of provisions done against ADR expenses so far. As per company's presentation, Q4 adjusted EBITDA margin, that excludes cost of ESOPs, exchange impact and return on investments, sequentially improved by 109 basis points and was at 19.6% for the quarter. The increase in adjusted EBITDA was driven by a material increase in utilization, continued increase in offshoring percentage and the relative absence of furloughs that were encountered in Q3. The total order intake during Q4 was $301 million, taking the yearly order intake to $1.3 billion. Company signed two large deals. They came from the BFS and the travel verticals respectively. 10 new logos were signed during the quarter, taking the total count to 44 for the financial year. The executable order book, which reflects the total value of locked orders over the next 12 months, stands at $869 million, which is a Y-on-Y growth of 20.7%. Company saw net addition of 719 people, that is a Q-on-Q increase of 3.2%. This net headcount increase has come despite a significant expansion in utilization by 120 basis points. Utilization during the quarter stood at 81.5%. LTM attrition for the quarter fell further and is now at 14.1%, which is among the lowest across the industry. For FY24, revenue guidance is 13 to 16% growth in constant currency terms, with gross margin increasing by about 50 basis points and adjusted EBITDA margin at similar levels as FY23. Management is confident of achieving this because of the next 12 months committed order book that continues to be unimpaired. They believe all the three core verticals will more or less be in line, centered around the growth guidance number, and deliver growth numbers that will be roughly similar. This implies a deceleration in growth of BFS and acceleration in insurance vertical. Overall, the company seems to have laid a strong base for their target to achieve $2 billion in revenues in future. In all this, what remains to be seen is the role of the promoter, who recently reduced its share to about 26.66%. Given the professional setup, it may not impact the company's growth trajectory. Thank you.